Welcome back to the Truly Kenya Podcast. Whether or not you're watching us on YouTube, and if you are, I hope you subscribe, or you're watching or listening on your favorite podcast platform, I'm just glad you're here, that you came back. And if you are our first time, welcome. Hope we bring you lots of laughter, happiness, and things to think about. Now, we don't solve any world problems, but we do have a good time. So with that, I'm just glad you're here. Where do I want to start today? I think I'm going to start with a PSA. Just a little public service announcement from me to you. Now, I love loungewear. I particularly love Skims loungewear. So Skims came out with a collaboration with Fendi. So they had some really beautifully colored bodysuits. Now, I love a bodysuit under a blazer with jeans, shorts, just by themselves. I love bodysuits. I think that they get you right, like you're shaped right, and you're just kind of sexy without trying to be sexy. I just love a bodysuit. So Skims came out with they have like a lavender and orange. I mean, all these sort of colors. So I ordered one. So they come in a beautifully, like a little purple lavender box. I don't know, about that big. And then you pull out this bodysuit. So I'm like, I don't know, I'm somewhere between like 135, 140. Okay. So I ordered a small because that's what went with my measurements. I pull it out. This thing is like so little, like little, like for your, like if you had a baby doll, little. So I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to, like even me being kind of small, how am I going to squeeze into this bodysuit? Well, I just want you to know it wasn't sexy. Okay. That little thing does stretch a lot, but when I tell you there is so much jumping involved, a couple of times, a little laying down, okay, to get into this bodysuit when you have on, like really gets it together for you, but I think it's a little see-through at the top, so you got to be careful. Okay, so that's fine. You get into it, you're all snatched up, you're ready to go. The PSA comes in. If you are going to try to be sexy at the end of the night when you're trying to take it off, fucking forget it. That thing takes forever to get out of, and it is not sexy. I mean, it just, there's no way it's sexy. In fact, you're like, forget sexy. Can you help me? Like if I just stand really still, you just pull down real quick. Don't worry about the pain. It is so tight, but it was worth it. During the night, it's worth it. At the end of the night, I don't know, not so much. I think I'll go back to my regular bodysuits, but if you're by yourself, it may be okay. So I think that is my really random PSA. In fact, if I may take a picture because I have one I haven't worn, so you can just really see that I'm not shitting you when I tell you how teeny tiny these little bodysuits are when you pull them out of the package. So that's what I'm doing for you today. That's my PSA. Other than that, I love Skims. Certain lines of Skims are I like better than others, but I love loungewear. All the long dresses are awesome. So get one. They're really worth it. The robes are worth it too. The robes were worth it too. So I thought after I did the show last week, I thought this week I really want to talk about friendships and gratitude because I have a lot to be thankful for. And then I saw the comments regarding some of my personal views regarding, let's just start with prenups. You guys had a lot to say about prenups, and some of you guys were really pissed about the prenup and my position of a prenup. And what I said is what I meant is that I don't have issues with prenups. And I think that there is, to me, women have a lot, and maybe you could even be a man, a lot of issues with signing a prenup. So when I was going through the comments, I was trying to figure out what was the trigger, like really, what about the prenup sends a person like over the edge or triggers some sort of feeling. And so when I was going through the comments, I think, nobody said this, but what I could gather, and if I'm wrong, you guys, I'm sure will let me know, that I think when a person suggests signing a prenup, I think it triggers that you don't trust me. Like, you don't think I'm here because I love you or I want to be with you. Okay. So no one in my comments were very clear about what triggered them. But when I'm reading the comments, that's just what I gathered. I think it triggers a trust thing. And what I would say to that is, I think you're overreacting. And I think you're thinking too much, because I don't think it triggers trust. If you are in a relationship with someone and they leave you in their personal space, their office, their apartment, their house, just in their personal space with their personal belongings, I think that speaks more about trust than any prenup. I think that if a person talks to you about their money or their business, or allows you, to listen to conversations that they're having on the phone with their whomever, their people that they are in business with, I think that speaks to the trust more than the prenup. So my position remains the same. I don't think a prenup is that big of a deal, and I think that you guys should not make it a big deal. I think just fucking sign it and move on with the relationship. But I am interested. So if you are clear about what triggers you about the prenup, will you put that in the comment? Because I could be speaking on something and it's not even trust. Maybe it's just the nerve of him to ask me to do it. So I don't know what it is, but I think it's really more about trust. And then you guys also, there are a lot of comments about feminine energy when I said that I operate from very feminine energy. Like, we've had these conversations. And what I would say to that is, just because you operate from feminine energy doesn't mean that you cannot speak up for yourself, or you don't speak up for yourself. It doesn't mean like you're allowing someone to walk over you. It just means that if you are dating somebody who has the ability to lead the relationship, that you trust when they say, I got you and I got us, I got this relationship. If you trust him when he says that, it allows you to fall back. Like, you don't have to be the one always making sure everything is good. And for me, I appreciate that, because I got other shit to be worried about, So I think, like I said last time, when I'm speaking of feminine energy, it just means that I am always presenting like a safe space for not only him, and especially him though. If, some people have really stressful jobs. Who knows? Like, if you are dating or married to a plumber, I mean, he is literally dealing with shit all day. But when he comes home, I would imagine you want him to be relaxed, to feel good, to find some sort of peace in you, or the peace in what you provide, just like being in your company. So he'll want to come back to you. So when I'm saying feminine energy, I mean providing peace. I mean providing an ear, just support, encouragement, just nurturing, loving. To me, is when I'm speaking of feminine energy. So it just don't take it as a weakness, because that's not how I meant it. And it doesn't mean that if some shit doesn't go right, that you can't jump back into that male space if you need to. But I enjoy very masculine men who can say, I got us. Like, you may have other shit going on. You can worry about the other shit. But in terms of this relationship, I got it. And that is, I don't know, it makes me feel good. And it allows me to just really be focused on the feminine energy. So I don't know. I think the other thing about that for me falls into I'm not an arguer. I don't want to argue. You can have it. You know what I mean? A lot of shit does not, I'm not 20 anymore. I'm not even 30 anymore. So maybe some of the stuff that I may have like had issue with or, okay, I'll take on this argument. I don't give a shit about that. I don't care if we are in a car and I clearly know the fastest way to get someplace. If you want to take an extra 20 minutes to get down the street to the local Safeway, I don't give a fuck. Take the 20 minutes, take 30 minutes. I don't care. We'll get there. I just think the end goal is the same. We're going to end up at Safeway. We need to take the scenic route to get there. Okay. I don't need to say anything. You know what I mean? So I just think, and that I think comes as you get older. Certain fights are worth fighting and other things it's just like, who cares? I'm just trying to get to Safeway so I can make dinner or get a bottle of wine or whatever you need. So I think you should rethink the feminine energy and don't think of it as a weakness because that's not how I take it at all. So that was one thing. And then I think that, what else did I want to talk to you guys about? The dating app. I have really been thinking about the dating app for you guys. Now, I know there's somebody out there that could take this and really run with it. Okay. So when I first mentioned the dating app, I didn't have a lot of details. Since then, I've come up with a lot of really good details. Okay. So we're going to talk. It still doesn't have a name, but okay, we're going to talk about it now. Okay. So the basic package price is going to be $4.99. Now, I didn't say $5 because when you say $5, when you go up to those whole numbers, people try to get crazy. That's why if you notice when houses are for sale, they may be like 199,000, 195,000, whatever. You don't want to say that whole number. Okay, so we're doing $4.99. So with the $4.99, you guys are going to be really proud of me that this shit is so well thought out, okay? So we're going to do a questionnaire about yourself, your likes, your dislikes, your wants, your needs, that kind of thing. And then we are going to have a special question about communication styles. That question is really for me, okay? I would like to know people's communication styles since that is a big issue for me. So we're going to do a credit check, but we're not going to give out your number. We're just going to let people know if it's bad, average, good, or really fucking good. Like really good. Okay. So we're going to do the credit check and obviously we're going to do the background check. So the background check, we're not going to be, like I said, dealing with people with crimes against women, children, elderly, and I've also added thieves. We don't want to worry about our own shit being stolen where we're supposed to be safe in the house. Okay. So unfortunately, we're not going to be dealing with thieves right now. So sorry about that, but we don't want that. We want to feel safe at home. We want to feel loved at home. Okay. We want to be able to walk out the room and know the watch is still on the dresser. The money is still in the wallet. The credit card numbers are right where I left them. So we cannot deal with these right now. However, like I said before, we are going to keep drug dealers on the list. We're going to deal with them because I think that it shows entrepreneurship. Okay, so we're keeping the drug dealers. We're keeping our criminals that were arrested and convicted of white collar crime. Okay, because that they understand how white men are able to make money. So they know the secrets. So we're going to keep them too. Okay, you may have to watch them, but we're going to keep them too. And then I think, okay, so that's the $4.99. Okay, that's what you get. And I think that's a pretty good package. And this is not a one-time fee. This is like per month. Okay, $4.99 per month. Okay, and then we're going to move into the $9.99. So you'll get all that $4.99, and then we will add a few things. I will do a phone interview, okay? So just, we're going to do a phone interview so I can see if I can pick up a vibe of if I think this dude is lying, telling truth. We're going to do maybe a home visit or Zoom So I will be looking for like, so if guys like are married and they take off the ring and they still have like the whatever, the suntan or the whatever. So I'll be looking for the details. So if you're going through somebody's house, if a picture is missing, that is probably the only clean spot on the counter or however people on their bookshelf. So I'll be looking to see if they're missing picture frames on the thing. And if he lives with the baby's mother, the mother, I'll be looking for little things around. I may snoop in the garbage can of a bedroom or a bathroom. I'm not going through the kitchen garbage cans because some people are really disgusting. But, okay, so we're going to get that. And, you're going to get, okay, so this is one. The statistical probability of if this relationship is going to work. I don't know how to do that, but it just really sounded worth $9.99, okay? And then we're going to talk to the exes, so we'll know what the exes really think about these guys. Now, we're going to take whatever they say with a grain of salt because sometimes exes don't want to be exes and they don't want people to be moving on and be happy. But we're just kind of curious of it'll give us an idea of what kind of girls they are used to dating, okay? So that's good, right? That is a complete package. That's a complete package. So that is what we are, that is what is going to be included in this dating app with no name. And that is my gift to all of you that are single. And I think it's the best dating app out there. I don't know because I'm not on dating apps, but it seems like I thought of everything, like every point, that I could think of to offer you. I've thought about it. So I think somebody out there ought to do it. I just laid out the fucking plan. You just got to pick it up and go write an app. If that's what you do to apps, write them, create them, whatever. So I think that because those are the things that I really, really want to talk about because I heard I was getting so many questions today that we're going to be coming through with coming through my questions, and they send me the questions that I don't know about. For those of you that are new, every show towards the end, someone sends me questions from my social media, Facebook, or the email, whatever. So I get questions and then I answer them on the cuff. So I haven't seen the questions, but sometimes they're a little shady. Sometimes they are a little shady, but I'm going to answer those for you. This is my favorite part of the show. Are your questions. Like, I make fun of them and I make fun of you guys for writing them, but it really is my favorite part of the show. So the first one, what was the hardest part of being single after 20 years, but it's really 23 years. Okay. So for me, one of the hardest things, well, obviously the relationship with the kids, to watch that like front and center is the hardest. But in terms of me, one of the like silly things is that, okay, so when it was first over, fantasizing about what the relationship was in my head than what it was in reality. So I'll give you an example. I had a couple of lights on the exterior of the house went out. So I was going to have to replace them. Air filters, I was going to have to replace them. One of the boards, I'm just naming this a list of shit that I was going to have to do. And then one of the boards, I have a temporary fence in my backyard. Like it was loose. So it was going to have to be like whatever, hammered in or a new nail. And then I started to have nail pops. That's when nail comes through your drywall. So I was going to have to repair those. Okay, just really simple things. I think there are a few other things. I just can't think of them right now. So in my mind, I was like, fuck, I'm going to have to do all this stuff myself now. So, and I thought that for a couple of seconds. And then I realized he never did this shit anyways. But in my mind, I have I had made it into, oh my God, he used to fix all this stuff and now I have to do it. And the truth is I would have had to do it anyways or pay somebody to do it. So I think like keeping, when I think about the relationship, keeping it in the reality in which it was, not, making it something that it wasn't. And that may sound really crazy to you guys, but that was one of like a small stupid thing that I had to remember. The only other hard part is dealing with not who I thought he was when we were together, but who he actually is now. So getting used to that person and dealing with that person, without falling back of, whatever you thought he was, he isn't. So you better get used to the motherfucker you now dealing with day to day. So other than that, I think that was probably, those 2 or 3 things were probably the hardest things. And then, let me see. Hi, Kenya. Hi, Kenya. I am dating someone. We have been dating for 3 months. How soon do you stop dating everyone else? What are your thoughts? Well, first of all, I think it's unreasonable to start dating anybody and not think that they had a life before your date. Like, people are dating, people are having sex, people are, have relationships. So I think that you have to give people, like, just because you guys went out and may have had a great date doesn't mean everybody goes home to drop everybody else. Like, I don't think that that's reasonable. It could be me. But I think people, you guys kind of get to know each 3 months. My question would be, how often are you seeing each other? Like, how often are you talking? Like, are you seeing, you only, maybe in 3 months you saw him 3 times? Are you always together? But I think they will just start to drop off. I think he or she will just start to get rid of those other people if they want to be with you. And I think you'll do the same. Like, I hope after the first date, you just didn't go home and tell everybody, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I just want this person. I just think, I think it takes time, but I think it does happen. So, and I think it may happen sooner if you find yourselves like always talking and always together than if you are seldom together and seldom talk. And I think I've had this question. Celebrity you would never date. I've had this question, or maybe it was a private conversation. Okay, but because I'm on camera, I want to preface it because I don't remember if it was private or I've already answered this question. This person, I'm going to say, is very handsome. I'm sure he's an awesome guy. This is just based on what I know about my personality and what I think I know about his personality from afar. Okay? And I say all this to say because this person seems very sensitive. So, okay, so before I get backlash from anybody, I wanted to say that. My person I would never date is the beautiful Tyrese. I think he is probably too sensitive for my sarcasm, my smart mouth. I think he would not appreciate it. I think he may even be like a little more serious. Like, I'm probably way too silly, childish, and immature. I think he is much more, probably way too mature for me. And he comes off a little controlling. And, sometimes that could be sexy, but I don't think the way he does it comes off as sexy to me. Okay. But I'm sure whoever he is dating loves every bit of Tyrese and that beautiful smile. But Tyrese would hate me and I would hate him back. So that's who it would be. Are you or your dates afraid that Gary will talk? Okay, she said Gary, but I really like to refer to him as my ex, so that's how I'm going to refer to him. Are you and your dates afraid that your ex will talk about them on stage? Um, Good question. I don't think this group of guys that I'm in contact with give a fuck about my ex, this divorce, and I don't think they ever worry about him, the ex talking about them on stage. And I think it would not be enough reward in it for the ex to talk about them on stage. I don't think he'll get enough out of it. First of all, they black guys, so what is this white guy gonna do talking about the black guys that are now dating his wife? I just don't think there's enough reward in it for him. I think my ex will just keep, me and the kids as, the butt of a joke, or I don't want to say a punching bag because I don't feel like a victim, but I think he'll just continue to use us. And besides, nobody is selling more tickets for my ex than me, okay? Me, these kids, and the divorce. And that's why he kind of always teases like, I'm going to talk about the divorce, or I'm going to talk about, what's the thing he says? The twist. And you never hear about the twist because the twist sells tickets. The divorce sells tickets. Everybody is interested in it. Listen to him tell you stupid ass jokes about the kids sells tickets. So, ain't nobody selling more tickets for him than me at this point. So I think he'll stay right there. And that's no different than his whole career since we've known each other. It's always been me and the kids selling tickets or him telling jokes about us. So I don't really think that will change, and I don't really care about it. Let's see. Hi, Kenya. I heard you say that you don't have daddy issues. Oh boy, where is this question going? I think you should talk to your therapist since you are there once a week. You guys are so shady. It is highly unlikely that you don't have daddy issues. Okay, so I'm going to just read it. Hi, Kenya. I heard that you said that you don't have daddy issues. I think you should talk to your therapist since you're there once a week. It is highly unlikely that you don't have daddy issues. First of all, you guys are so shady. You are throwing back information that I have shared with you openly in my face. I don't really care. It's fine. So I don't think I never said I don't have daddy issues. I just said, if I remember correctly, that my daddy issues did not show up in me being promiscuous. My daddy issues show up for me to this day about feeling safe and being safe. Like your dad was like, hey, did you get here? Like a father would nurture and make sure that their daughter is good. That's how my daddy issues show up. People checking on me or... And I'm easy to check on because even if I had a shitty day, everything is fine. No one, including my ex, could ever say, I picked up the phone to call her, or I've sent her a text and asked how she's doing, and I've never, ever heard anything but, oh, I'm good, I'm fine. So it doesn't matter what kind of day that I have. If you ask me how I'm doing, I'm going to be doing fine. So I think that is how, just always feeling safe emotionally and physically is how it comes up. Hi, Kenya. I'm a pole dancer, and my favorite song to pole dance to is E.T. by Katy Perry. Do you have any favorite music, and if so, what? Okay, wait. Just give me 1 second. Let me think about E.T. by Katy Perry. Okay, so I can't remember the words to that song, but in my mind, I can hear the beat, the tempo. And I think that would be I have to look at the words, but just how the tempo of the music changes, I think that's a good pole dancing song, honestly. However, I'm going to share a couple of gems with you. So my favorite, okay, so I probably have 3. If I were going to be pole dancing, I would probably do it to Janet Jackson's Velvet Rope Tonight's the Night. That's one of my pole dancing songs. I like that. But I like that album. It's super like sensual, sexy. And another song that I can pole dance or lap dance to is an oldie but a goodie. I don't know how old you are, so you're not going to even probably know it. It's Adina Howard's T-shirt and panties. When I tell you to go listen, go listen. And you can do, for me, I think it works for lap dancing or pole dancing. Straight lap dancing, and you can fucking thank me later, would be Rope Burn on Janet Jackson's Velvet Rope album, or whatever you call it now, is the best song out there, and especially for lap dancing. Okay, I'm telling you, thank me later. Tell me how great I was at choosing terrific pole dancing and lap dancing music. Listen, it's awesome. It's getting me in the mood right now just thinking about it. Awesome. Okay. And how soon after you separated did you date and have sex? Okay. So I didn't even start dating until about 6.5, 7 months after the divorce started, or it hasn't even started. But you know, when I'm saying divorce, I mean like when it like all came out. So let's see, it came out in March and October. Let me see, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Okay, so yeah, so about 7 months. Sex, I haven't had sex yet. So, and now I'm going 9 months into it. And let me tell you why I haven't had sex. Because, so I think everybody, after an end of a relationship, I think everyone should go and make sure that they don't have anything. Because we do not want to be in these streets giving people stuff, right? So when I went to the gynecologist and I was laying on the table, I was like, dear God, if you could please give me a healthy vagina, I promise I will not misuse it. And then she takes all these tests, all these STD tests, all these tests, any test she could take about my vagina, she took. And then when they have to send them off, but right then she said everything looks fine, whatever she could tell, but she had to send them off to the lab. And so when they called me like 3 days later, like, oh no, you're good to go. I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. And I promise I will not misuse it. So I'm not out here being reckless with my vagina, which is why I have not had sex. Let's see. She said, this, I don't think this is really a question. If somebody takes time and acts like they like you, you should just date them. Okay, this is so weird. I don't even understand. This is more like a comment, but I do have a thought about this. Is I don't think just because someone acts like they like you or spends a little time or chases you, or I don't even say chase, but just pursue, whatever word you want to use. I don't think that means that they have your best interest at heart. Just because somebody is showing. I think it takes time. They could have their own agenda for you. Okay, so I think we have to be careful about falling into that sort of trap. Just, because he called me or he asked me out or he did this, he really likes me. I don't think everybody really likes everybody. I think sometimes, like I said before, people have an agenda for you. And I think if it takes you an extra few phone calls or extra few dates or an extra few weeks to figure out what the intention is, I think you will be better served. Okay. Let's see. When do you think it is time to move on when dating? Oh, you're going to know when it's time to move on because his actions are going to be all fucked up. Okay? How he talks to you ain't going to be right. The things he wants to do, if he wants to do anything with you, it's all going to be off. And you'll know, okay, it's time to move on. But I think sometimes with women, we get stuck on these conversations of closure. I don't believe in conversations of closure. To me, If a person is shitty to you, there's the closure. If a person is not being nice to you, there's a closure. If he was supposed to pick you up and never showed up, if he was supposed to pick you up from work and never showed up, I mean, I don't know what do you need to do? What is the conversation about? You forgot to pick me up. I mean, I don't know. I just think I'm not a big. I don't know if I'm stuck on closure conversations. I go by someone's action to me is closure. My ex and all this cheating. Why do I need to have a closure conversation? I mean, we was already having a conversation I didn't even know I was supposed to be a part of. So I am not that big on these formal closure conversations. I just think it's overrated, and I know other people have very different feelings about that, and I respect that. I'm just saying, for me, I don't know if they are important. Let me see. Kenya, I don't think it is a good look, you dating and sleeping around. Okay, first of all, I am not sleeping around. And it took me 7 months to date. Why wouldn't I date? And I've only slept at one person's house. And that is the only house I've only slept at one person's house. So I'm not sleeping around. I'm not having sex. But thank you for that comment. Okay. But if I do decide to start sleeping around and dating everybody, we don't have to have a closure conversation. That was my choice. Okay. So that is that. I have a few minutes. So I want to talk about, so this is me talking about this show was totally not planned, but I want to talk about quickly. I want to recommend True Story on Netflix if you guys haven't watched it already with Kevin Hart. Now, why do I want to talk about that? Because I think Kevin Hart, I don't know if he's gotten a bad rap because I do think he kind of played the same character in most of the movies. But I am saying to you, even if you're not a Kevin Hart fan, I think if you watch True Story, you will see his growth. You'll see a different side. It's an anthology, so it's only like, I don't know, 7 or 8 episodes. And it is so well written. And if I were prepared, if I thought I was going to talk about this, I would know who the writer is. There's so many twists and turns in it that it is probably the most well-written script or thing that I've watched in a long time. Like, you couldn't really guess. I was unable to figure out what was going to happen. So, and it made me look at Kevin really as like a real actor. Like, I think he's funny, but I kind of like him acting. It is so, so good. You should watch it. And okay, I don't want to tell what happens, but I do want to say this. I wish it could have been a little more background because Wesley Snipes is playing his brother. And Kevin is playing this really famous, popular comic. And I would like to know what set the brother off. Like Wesley Snipes is clearly jealous, I think, of Kevin. But I want to know, like, how did that happen? And why? And I think that Kevin just let's just take care of him, give him what he needs so he won't be a thorn in my side. I think there's so many people out there, whether comics, people that have money to be able to support other people. I think there are a lot of people out there that feel that way. Like, let's just pay this person to shut up, go away, not cause me any problems, especially if you are a public figure. I think it happens a lot more than we think. But it's so, so good. And I heard that they are maybe going to do it again. So an anthology. So it's done. So Kevin is done. And they would just get another celebrity. And I can't see them using anyone. They don't need to. But an A-list celebrity. So if you've ever seen like Sinner, which is really good, or True Detective, which is really good, True Detective, they use like all these A-list celebrities. Like every season had like a different storyline with all these celebrities. And I think it's easier to get these A-listers when it's like 7, 8, and I'm done. You like in and out, in and out. kind of like an escort, in and out. You get what you need, you pay for it, you're done, you move on to the next. But it's really, really, really good. So if you haven't watched it, that is my recommendation. True story with Wesley Snipes and Kevin Hart. And I'm telling you, you're going to be like, what the fuck, Kevin? Like, it's a whole different side, like the growth. I mean, he really made people that thought he wasn't a good actor or couldn't be a good actor. I think it's really going to make you guys be like, wow, I was really wrong. Okay. This motherfucker can act. So that's it. I just zoomed through this show today. So if I was talking fast, I'm really sorry. I better work on my timing. But I wanted to see if it's possible for me to get it to like a tight hour or close to a tight hour. And so that was the assignment. And I think I fucking killed it today. So as always, though, I love doing the podcast. I'm excited to see where this podcast, like Kevin Hart, what we are going to evolve to. And it makes me happy to see when you guys listen and you comment. I do appreciate it. I appreciate the subscribes if you are watching it on YouTube. I appreciate the subscribes if you're listening to it on your favorite podcast platform. So I guess I'm really saying I just appreciate you and you deciding to be here and listen and participate, and I just appreciate you. So with that, we will see you next week, and I love y'all, for real. I also want to send a special thanks to Skyline Studios, my podcast home. Brian Matheson and Leslie De Leon really look after, they keep the train on the track. Okay, because without them, we would be all over. And so I just, we're family now. They're stuck with me now. And then for all the camera stuff and making me look good or making me look decent and getting this light right, we have Alex Hunter from Pink Moon Media. Now Alex really deals with music videos. So that's her sweet spot. So she is just slumming it here with this podcast, okay? But we want to thank her. And I think I just spit at y'all, but I didn't mean it. But we want to thank Alex for coming down here to the ghetto, to this little bitty podcast, to make sure the camera and these lights are right, okay? To make sure I'm right. So once again, we are family. So thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate you.